Hey guys, Frank here from Preston, Melbourne, Australia. Just doing another video. And this one, it's a reply, or it's not even a thread, I don't think. Vinyl Richie said he didn't do the thread, but it's 25 of your favourite records of this century, the last 25 years. So yeah, I've scoured through them. I went on my Discogs page, and yeah, so I had about 50 or 60 odd albums, so I had to narrow it down to 25. Also, I had quite a few CDs that I'd probably put in my 25 top albums as well. So, but anyway, this is just records that I've got and the top 25 records, okay? So, I wouldn't say it's the top 25 of everything because there's some stuff I haven't got on record that I would probably put in my top 25. Anyway, enough of that. All right, let's start off. And this one is from the year 2000 and it's Mark Lanigan, Bubblegum. Killer album, awesome stuff. This record's got his classics like In the City, um, methamphetamine blues. Sorry, um, Strange Religion. It's just an absolute killer album. So yeah, Mark Lanigan, Bubblegum. There you go. All right, number two. This album here is just back to back great songs. We got Dandy Warhols. 13 Tales of Urban Bohemia. Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Every single song, just a classic on this. It starts, opens with Godless. What a song. And then Mohammed. Yeah, the first time I'd ever heard this album, they were playing it. One of the DJs on one of our community stations was playing a song, and it was, what was it called? I can't remember. It was a particular song. I can't remember what song it was, but it's the first time I ever heard him, and I thought it was Iggy Pop. It sounded very similar to Iggy Pop. Not that the album sounds, but just this particular song. But yeah, great, great album. Dandy Warhols. Yeah, there you go. All right, next. Oh, we've got these two chats. Thievery Corporation, The Mirror Conspiracy. Absolute brilliant stuff. This is the two DJs. It's got that sort of Latin bossa nova sort of groove. Yeah, just great stuff. Heaps of guest vocalists on here. Babel Gilberto and yeah, it's two DJs from Washington. Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, the Mirror Conspiracy, Thievery Corporation. All right, next. Well, you have to pop these guys in. It was their last album, and Butthole Surfers, Weird Revolution. Great, great record. Got like I said, this was their last record they released. Can't believe it's bloody what is it? It's 24 years ago since the Buttholes have released an album. But yeah, this is a classic album. It's got a lot of good stuff on here. Yeah, there you go. Weird Revolution. Currently, we've got a film festival in town, and there's an doco on Butthole Surfers. So yeah, I'm hanging to see that. So yeah, it should be good. All right, Weird Revolution. Next up, we've got a bit of electronica here. One of my favourite electronic acts, Underworld. Underworld. This is from 2002, 100 Days Off. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant stuff. Um, what more can you say? Whatever these guys do is going to be gold. It's just they can't go wrong. They released an album just recently, absolute killer. These guys are in their mid 60s now, and they're still doing really well, putting out great stuff. Underworld. All right. Next up, we've got a local band, one of my favourite local bands or Australian Melbourne bands, and it's a band called Black Cab. And they released this album, The Altamont Diary. It's a concept album, and it's based on the Rolling Stones Altamont concert. And yeah, absolute brilliant album, well worth listening. Not many people know them back here at home, but they are so good and awesome live. Yeah, they started off as a band, but it's become a little bit more electronic now. So it's just a couple of synths and a drummer, but Great. Well worth the listen. Awesome stuff. All right. Next, we've got here Peeping Tom, um, self-titled, and this is another project by Mike Patton from Faith No More. Um, and he put this out. It's the only album he's put out with this, Peeping Tom. But yeah, fantastic. Got just a really good groove, you know. It's got a bit of a Latin feel, a bit of a rap feel, you know. Mabel Gilberto is on this album as well. Dan the Automator, you know, just really good stuff. Brilliant live, you know, and yeah, there you go. Yeah, Mojo was the single off this album. Brilliant song. But yeah, Peeping Tom. Okay, next, next, a bit more electronica. LCD sound system, Sounds of Silver. Now this album is just an absolute perler, absolute perler. You know, just I think I might have to go this way. Oh no, it's this way. Yeah, a killer album. You know, it just each song is just unbelievable. Yeah, really good, really good. Yeah, well worth a listen. Check it out. Check it out. LCD Sound System. I'm hanging to see these guys live. I tell you. But anyway, there you go. LCD Sound System. Next up, here we've got another Melbourne outfit. Eddy Current Suppression Ring Primary Colors. These guys are just unbelievable. They'd be up there with one of my favourite bands from this country. Yeah, they've had a hiatus for a few years, but just recently they released a single just out of the blue, and then they've announced just a free gig they're going to be playing in our City Square. So yeah, hopefully that's the sign of things to come. You know, a new album, but yeah, brilliant live, absolutely, yeah, excellent. Eddie Current Suppression Ring. Awesome stuff. There you go. All right. Next, what have we got next? Okay. 2009, Bill Callahan. Sometimes I wish we were an eagle. This album's just a beautiful album. It opens with just the two best songs is the opening and the last song. You know, it opens with this song called Jim Kane. Beautiful track, beautiful track. Yeah, just chock with really good songs, and then it ends with this 9 minute song called Faith Void, and it's just a beautiful song. A great album, great live. Yeah, Bill Callahan. There you go. No worries. Next off, 2010. Okay, bit more electronica. And here we go. We got Chemical Brothers. Further. This album, another beauty. Absolute another beauty. You know, just yeah, can't go wrong with this. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Classic tracks, you know, Swoon, Snow, Another World. You know, it's yeah, excellent. Chemical Brothers, Further. All right, next off the rank, we got these San Francisco dudes here, wooden shapes or wooden ships, but they spell, yes, ships in a very bizarre sort of way. But yeah, this is sort of psychedelic rock. Um, yeah, just really good stuff. You know, run by a guy called Ripley Johnson, and they've put out about 5 albums, but he's also got another band called Moon Duo. It's a bit more electronic, and they are awesome. And then he's got a sort of countryish band called the Rose City Band. But yeah, this great stuff. You know, awesome live. Yeah, there you go. West Wooden Shapes. All right, next along here we got another Melbourne band. This is a band. They only put out one album, and they're called the Boomgates. And this album is tied to Eddie Current Suppression Ring. It's the same singer, guy called Brendan Huntley, and this was just a side project he did with a few other Melbourne sort of musos. A girl called Steph Hughes who's got a brilliant voice and has been on numerous of other albums. And yeah, great stuff. The songs are just brilliant. The harmonies in here are just fantastic. I saw him once live. Awesome, awesome. But yeah, Boom Gates. Yeah, Double Natural it's called. But yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. All right, next along here we've got this Swedish mob. I saw Vinyl Richie. He put up Goat as well. I'm not sure if he put up this album, but he did put up a Goat album. But yeah, these are just brilliant. You know, psychedelic rock and Swedish. Yeah, just fantastic, fantastic. And another brilliant live band. Brilliant. Yeah, I saw them at a festival a few years back. But yeah, there you go. Goat World Music. All right. Next, another 2012. And this is from this old timer, Neil Young, Psychedelic Pill. This triple album, uh, just fantastic. This is the last best thing he's done, so far. What did I say? What year is this? 12, yeah. So 13 years ago, yeah. But this is the last really, really good thing done. It's a Crazy Horse album. It opens up with a song called Drifting Back, and it goes for about 25 minutes, and it's just unbelievable. It's so good, so good. But yeah, Psychedelic Pill. Saw him tour this album. It was, yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Yep. Mr. Young. Yep. Psychedelic Pill. All right. Next. Next. Who we got next? We've got another local act. Another local act. And I saw Vinyl. Richie also put this in his top 25, and I have to agree with him, but here we go. Courtney Barnett, Sea of Split Peas. This is basically her first two EPs, and they released it on, made a double album out of it, and just every song is just brilliant. She's such a good songwriter. Just yeah, awesome, awesome stuff. Yeah, very fortunate to see her many times live here at home. Had a chat with her a couple of times. Just a really good human being. Yeah, great, great album. Yeah, Courtney Barnett. All right. Next, we've got another local band. Sorry, guys. I suppose Ben Rankin's about the only one who's going to know most of these, but yeah, because they're Australian. But here we've got in 2014, we got this band, and they're called the Peep Temple. It's sort of punk, sort of rock, alternative stuff, but it is just sensational. Just the 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 single off this album it was called Carol. Yeah, and it just brilliant, brilliant, very aggressive, but brilliant song, brilliant song. Great live, and they're actually doing a comeback gig, because they split up for a while, and they've just doing a couple of reunion shows. Only just sort of couple off, but yeah, great stuff. Peak Temple, yeah. Okay, rolling along. We've got next 2014, and um, yeah, I saw Calvin Mazoo. He put this or one of their albums up, and I'm going to have to as well, and that's Hikagaku Moyo, The Forest of Lost Children. Just yeah, psychedelic, Japanese, just brilliant, awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Yeah, fantastic live. Seen them a couple of times, but yeah, just can't beat them. Can't beat them. Song on here, Smoke and Mirrors, absolute killer. But yeah, that's Kikagayo Moyo from 2014. All right, moving on to our next one. All right, and okay, here's another Melbourne band. Sorry, guys, but yeah, it's a band, and they're called Scott and Charlene's Wedding. They got about a half a dozen albums out, and just really good stuff. Really, yeah, great songwriting skills by these guys, and great live, awesome live. Just yeah, great tracks like "Don't Bother Me," "Scrambled Eggs," "Bush." Check them out. It is really good. Yeah, Scott and Charlene's Wedding. Yep, there you go. All right. Next, moving along, we've got these guys out of Washington. Washington, and it's Chain and the Gang. the best of crime rock. These guys I just stumbled on. I went to a music festival and they were playing. I'd never heard of them, and they just blew me away. They were actually touring this album, and they just absolutely blew me away. They're led by a guy called Ian Svenovius, I know, and he just a fantastic performer and a really good laugh, but great tracks. Well worth checking out. Sort of has a little bit of a crampsy sort of feel about it, but yeah, really good. Pain in the gang. All right, moving on again. Here we go. Another Australian. Sorry, I'm popping out all these Australian albums, but yeah, here we go. We got a girl or female, Jen Clower, and this yeah another brilliant album. Yeah, she's put out a few, but this one is just an absolute blinder. 2017 this was released. Jen Clower, yeah, self-titled, well worth a listen. She's actually the ex-girlfriend of Courtney Barnett. They went out for a while and yeah, toured quite a bit together. Yep. So yeah, Jen Clower. All right, moving on. Well, with this top 25, I was only going to do I was only going to do one album from each band because these guys I probably would put a few albums for my favorite 25 albums the last 25 years, but I thought no, we'll just do one album per band and yeah, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This was their first album they released in 2017 of five. They released five albums, and this was the first one. And it's got this, yeah, the microtonal sort of sound to it, and just every track is just an absolute corker. Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. I could have chosen 10 other albums and put them here of theirs, but yeah, I went for this one. The next week will be probably a different one, but yeah, this, yeah, classic King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard. All right, moving along here. Oh, God, another strain. God, there's a few here, but yep, another strain. And this is by a band or an outfit called Traffic Island. And it's basically an electronic sort of album, but it's done by a guy called Zach Olson. But he's also in a couple of other bands, and particularly a band called Orb, which released an album last year, and they're more sort of stoner rock stuff. But this is more electronic. But the tracks on here are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. This guy's he's got the ear for it, just fantastic. Yeah, and the album's called Peanut Butter Traffic Jam. It was released in 2020, and yeah, fantastic. God, it was almost permanently on my turntable in 2020. There you go. All right, almost coming to an end. All right, second last. We've got another Australian band. Sorry, 2024, and it's a band called Don't Thank Me, Spank Me. And yeah, they're a couple of local girls from here in Melbourne. And yeah, this is their debut album from last year, and it's an absolute killer. Absolute, the songwriting, their songs are just brilliant. Their harmonies are fantastic. Live, they're just brilliant. Just all around really good musos. But well worth checking out. Well worth checking out. Just some of the tracks on here, just or not some, all the tracks are just back to back fantastic. And that's Don't Thank Me, Spank Me. Okay, and last, this was my album of the year last year, and it's Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, Nell Ora Blur. Now, this is an absolute brilliant album. It's a soundtrack, an Italian soundtrack to an Italian crime movie. But the movie doesn't exist. It's just totally made up. And you listen to it, there's a lot of dialogue and stuff, and it's just with all this psychedelic sort of music going throughout. It's just absolutely brilliant. They've got this very well known Italian actor this old guy called Franco Nero, and he does a lot of the vocal parts and speaking between the songs and a bit of yelling here and there, and yeah, just a fantastic album. Just yeah, would check it out. Do yourself a favor. It is brilliant. Nell or a blur. Anyway, so that's my 25. I'll call it quits now. Um, you know, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. I'll speak to you a bit later on. See you soon. Bye.